Well, first of all, it's wonderful to be here, Your Highness. Thank you for the invitation, Your Excellency. It's amazing what you've put together here as a first round of a FinTech festival. Just to see the size of this event is tremendous, and I think speaks to itself. Franklin Templeton has actually been in this region. Actually, we were the first, I think, asset manager to set up in the DIFC. And you know, we run our CEMEA business out of this region. Out of Dubai, actually. And, you know, for us, look, I'm third generation at Franklin Templeton, and so it's imperative that I'm thinking long-term about what kind of disruptions. I always say, you know, that I don't want the fourth and fifth generation to say we had a really good thing going until Jenny blew it and missed some great opportunity. And those opportunities are going to come, I think, from technology and disruption that comes out of it. And so, you know, being in the ecosystems where you are attracting that kind of innovation is really important. So to me, you know, obviously the region's important, and then the kind of hub here where you're attracting the FinTech talent, I think is where we need to be.
I think the governor made some excellent...
Astonishing. And then I would just add, I think, you know, we're 1.5 trillion, mostly active management. I think the ability to leverage the tool to gain insights on investment opportunities is going to be very important. And I think that any firm that wants to be a winner in the long run here has to be exceptional at understanding how to leverage this kind of tool.
So embrace it, don't fight it. Is that the message?
Listen, I'm a believer in all technology. You think you can stop it, but it's like water running down a mountain. It's going to get down the mountain. So, you know, the question is, and this is where I think regulation becomes very important here, the question is, can you guide that down? But I think it's important to embrace it.
I think we've already...
This is kind of an exciting time, you know, from a wealth for individuals, right? Because, you know, over the last decades, as an asset manager, what did we do? We bundle products and we go out and sell a product. But what this layer of technology is enabling is true customization around that. We actually have a joint project with a company called InvestSuite, which is a robo-advisor in the region, where we're bringing our AI tool, which does dynamic allocation of portfolios based on goals. So if you think about, you know, my individual goals may be, I'd love to have enough money to retire. I'd love to help my children pay for their college. And if things go really well, I'd love that second home on the you know, the beach. The first one is a must-to-have, the second is a nice-to-have, and the third is, well, if things go really well, like maybe I can get this. This portfolio and leveraging AI can shift your contributions to each category depending on the glide path that you're on. And when markets drop, like, you know, there's going to be a point here where increasing your equity allocation is going to be important. Now, the timing of that's very important. But a lot of traditional models were very much fixed, kind of what they called 60-40. I think leveraging these tools, and AI is a big component of that, to dynamically switch up investment portfolios is going to be important. And then the ability to do things like tax efficiency and optimizing, and again, just customizing and then delivering that customization through ways in which the traditionally, say, the unbanked couldn't achieve. And I think, you know, the types of things that we can now do with
through this. I think Bitcoin is up around 75% year to date, in fact. So how do we explain that, and what's happening there?
So I tell people, I think the two biggest disruptors to any industry are going to be AI and blockchain, right? And then I follow it with Bitcoin is the greatest distraction from the greatest disruption that is ultimately coming to financial services and other businesses. And that is not to say that Bitcoin has no value. Actually, it was someone in this region who pointed out to me that, you know, just the fact that the U.S. confiscated assets from Russia would drive people into asset classes like Bitcoin, because there would be a view that those assets could be outside of any government confiscating them. So I'm not saying that Bitcoin isn't going to have some value. But to me, what's so interesting about blockchain and what is really unique is if you think about what the blockchain technology does, it does three things. It allows a payment mechanism, it allows a smart contract, and it allows a general ledger that is a source of truth. If you think about what happened, we were talking earlier about the regional banking crisis. One of the issues that happened was that as there became a lack of confidence in banks, in particular regional banks, they weren't able to access the Fed window because it was sort of after hours, right? So if you have a source of truth, and a lot of that is due to historically how operations and settlement happened in businesses. Think about, most big banks still have a big old mainframe that's doing batch processing at night. And so the markets were built like that, but as we become more global, it's going to be imperative that the source of truth, when the transaction happens, it is settled and you can have confidence of that. That is going to actually open up to a more 24-hour time zone. So I think that's going to be an important innovation. But back to the concept, I think for us as an asset manager, one is the source of truth drives down the cost, so we can deliver much greater customization for less, so that's a good thing. But it's going to unlock untraditional asset sources. And I'd love to use the example of Rihanna, the singer, who issued 300 NFTs, each